Hello everyone. Welcome to our seminar on the topic, when do you go to church? According to the Bible, there is the day of worship God commanded us to keep. Do you know when it is? Students know the days to go to school. Workers know the days to go to work. Similarly, those who believe in God must know the day to worship God. Do you know when it is? Today, many Christians go to church on Sunday to worship. Then, what does the Bible say is the day to worship God? Now, let's find out the answer to this question. The Bible tells us that the day to worship God is the seventh-day Sabbath. Exodus chapter 20 verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. The seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. God appointed the seventh day as the Sabbath, and commanded us to remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy, as the fourth of the 10 Commandments. Therefore, we must go to worship on the Sabbath day, as God has commanded us to keep it. Why do you think God commanded us to remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy? Exodus chapter 31 verse 13. You must observe my Sabbaths. This will be a sign between me and you for the generations to come, so you may know that I am the Lord, who makes you holy. The reason God commanded us to remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy is because observing the Sabbath day is a sign between God and His people. When we keep the Sabbath, which commemorates the power of the Creator, we can be acknowledged as God's people. Then, what day of the week is the seventh-day Sabbath God commanded us to keep? Let's take a look at various sources to know the day. First, let's see a calendar. The calendar shows that the first day is Sunday and the seventh day is Saturday. The seventh day is Saturday, not Sunday, according to the calendar. Second, let's take a look at a dictionary. The dictionary defines that Sunday is the first day of the week, and Saturday is the seventh day of the week. The dictionary also shows that the seventh-day Sabbath is not Sunday but Saturday. Third, through the book, The Faith of Our Fathers, published by the Catholic Church that holds worship services on Sunday, let's see what day of the week they refer to as the Sabbath. Not to mention other examples, is not every Christian obliged to sanctify Sunday and to abstain on that day from unnecessary servile work? Is not the observance of this law among the most prominent of our sacred duties? But you may read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and you will not find a single line authorizing the sanctification of Sunday. The Scriptures enforce the religious observance of Saturday, a day which we never sanctify. This book, too, records that the Scriptures enforce the religious observance of Saturday, not Sunday. It is evident that the seventh-day Sabbath is Saturday, not Sunday. That is why even the Catholic Church that keeps Sunday service acknowledges it in their book. Lastly, let's examine the testimonies of the Bible. In Mark chapter 16 verse 1 and 9 of the NIV Bible, it is written, when the Sabbath was over, Jesus rose early on the first day of the week. About the same verse, the GNT Bible records, after the Sabbath was over, Jesus rose from death early on Sunday. This shows that Jesus was resurrected on Sunday. Since it was Sunday after the Sabbath was over, what day is the Sabbath, the day before Sunday? Yes, it is Saturday. As you have seen in the dictionary, Sunday is defined as the day after Saturday. As the day after the Sabbath is Sunday and the day after Saturday is Sunday, the Sabbath must be Saturday. Up to this point, we've verified through various sources that the seventh-day Sabbath when we worship God is Saturday. About 2,000 years ago, Jesus himself set the example of keeping the sacred Sabbath day. Luke chapter 4 verse 16. He went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and on the Sabbath day he went into the synagogue, as was his custom. He stood up to read. Apostle Paul, who came to believe in Jesus after his crucifixion, also kept the Sabbath. Acts chapter 17 verse 2. As was his custom, Paul went into the synagogue, and on 3 Sabbath days he reasoned with them from the Scriptures. As you see, even after Jesus' crucifixion, the apostles continued to keep the Sabbath, following the example of Jesus. Therefore, we, too, must remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy, following the example of Jesus and the apostles. Then, what blessings will we receive by keeping the Sabbath? Matthew chapter 7 verse 21. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. As it is written here, only the one who does the will of God can enter the kingdom of heaven. Is it God's will to remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy or not? Definitely, it is God's will. Therefore, those who keep the Sabbath according to God's will can enter the kingdom of heaven. What if students do not know the days to attend school? What if workers do not know the days to go to work? And what if those who want to enter the kingdom of heaven through their faith in God do not know the day to worship God? Today, we have fully learned about the day to worship God. When is it? That's right. It is the 7th-day Sabbath, Saturday. Now, I would like to conclude today's seminar. May all of you who have attended this seminar keep the Sabbath, which is God's will, and enter the eternal kingdom of heaven. Thank you very much.